Alright, so here we are, just making a little video to go over this identities matchup here. So where do we start? Now there's a lot of different ways you could do this, but ultimately it should look the same as mine at the end. So I look at this purple one here, I see sine over cosine on the bottom. So I'm looking for something that has tangent on the top. And I see just this one right here. So I'm going to place that there. I might have to move it, but we'll stick with that for now. Then I see on the left of this purple starred one, 1 over cosecant. Now that's the reciprocal of sine. So I'm going to look for one that has sine on the right. So we got one right here. There might be others. Do I see any others with sine on the right? I see a sine squared, but none of that. All right, so now I'm going to work below and to the left of the two I just put on there, because now I have, if I match up the two sides, I'll be more confident that that's correct. So I see sine squared times cotangent squared. Now cotangent squared is cosine squared over sine squared. So if you multiply that by sine squared, the sine squareds will cancel out and you're left with cosine squared. So I'm looking for something with cosine squared on the top. So I see that one right there. Do I see anything else with cosine squared on the top? I don't. But I don't think 1 minus cosine squared is equal to cosecant, because it's not. So there's an issue there. So we gotta move that one back. All right. So what do we do? Is there another one with sine on there? No, so let's see. So let's put this back. Well, we had cosine squared. Is there anything else with cosine squared on the top? There is. There is. So it's this one right here. Sorry. So I missed that one. So that has cosine squared on the top. And then cosine over cotangent. Well, cotangent is cosine over sine. So if you do cosine divided by cosine over sine, the cosines will cancel out because you flip and multiply, and you get 1 over sine, which is cosecant. All right, so there we go. So that's set up. So that's good. All right, so now let's look to the left of the purple star one. So I see sine squared over 1 plus cosine. Now sine squared is equal to 1 minus cosine squared, which factors to 1 minus cosine times 1 plus cosine. So the 1 plus cosines would cancel out. So I'm looking for 1 minus cosine on the left. So I see that right here. Cool. All right, now I got to find one where there's something equal to 1 on the top and to the left. So I see this one, which has sine squared plus cosine squared on the top, and also secant squared minus tangent squared, and both those Pythagorean identities are equal to 1. So I'm going to assume that's right for now. Now let's work up, I guess. So I see this purple one, cotangent times sine. All right, so cotangent is cosine over sine. So the sines would cancel out. So I'm looking for cosine on the bottom. So I see this one right here as cosine on the bottom. I don't see anything else with cosine on the bottom. So I'll assume that's right for now. All right, I see tangent of x. Well, I know it's equal to sine over cosine, or also 1 over cotangent. So I see 1 over cotangent, and I'll place that there. But that's not equal to cosine squared. So I got to give up on that. So let's see, what else is equal to tangent? Well, here's another 1 over cotangent. So we'll put that there. And 1 over cosine is equal to secant. So that matches up. So that's good. So now I'm working to the left, and I see 1 plus tangent squared. All right, that's equal to secant squared. So I'm looking for secant squared, and I see that's right there. All right, but I have cosine times secant, which is not equal to cosine. So I got to abort that mission. So 1 plus tangent squared is equal to secant squared. Do we see any other secant squareds? No. Do I see anything else that's squared? Well, I see 1 minus cosine squared, but that's not equal to secant squared. I see cosine times tangent squared. That would equal sine squared. So let's skip that. All right, not really sure what to do with that one, so we'll skip it. So if we work above the blue one on the right, this one right here, I see cosine squared over 1 plus sine. So because cosine squared is equal to 1 minus sine squared, that's going to factor to 1 minus sine times 1 plus sine. So the 1 plus signs will cancel. So I'm looking for 1 plus sine on the bottom. And I see, oh, sorry, the 1 plus signs will cancel. So I'm looking for 1 minus sign on the bottom. So I see that right there. All right. Now, sine squared, that could equal cosine squared minus 1. Or sorry, check that, 1 minus cosine squared. So I see that, and I put that there, but the bottoms don't match up. So I got to look for something else that's equal to 1 minus sine squared. Well, or something equal to sine squared. So I see this one right here, this orange one, which cosine squared times tangent squared is equal to sine squared, because tangent squared is equal to sine squared over cosine squared, so that would cancel out. And then if we look at the orange one and the blue one below it, all right, cosine times, or cotangent times sine would equal cosine, and so would 1 over secant. All right, so those match up nicely. All right, so now I see this tangent squared, so I'm looking for something else squared, and I see secant squared minus 1, so we'll place that there. And then I see sine of x over tangent of x. Tangent of x is sine over cosine, so if we flip and multiply that, we get sine times cosine over sine, and the signs will cancel out. So I'm looking for cosine, and that fits nicely because then I get secant squared is equal to 1 plus tangent squared, but this bottom part doesn't match up. So not really sure what to do about that. Maybe we can move this one. All right, let's see. So yeah, I see that this one now fits there because I have cosine times tan, which is, that's not right. So that doesn't work. This is tricky. So this one fits. Maybe we move this red one for now. All right, so let's look to the right of this bottom one here. We'll use process of elimination. So I see sine of x. So I have two different things that are equal to the sine of x on the left here and here. So I need something on the right that's equal to the sine of x. So that could be this right here. All right, so we have cosine times tangent. That's equal to the sine of x. Or I could put that here. So let's see. I need something equal to 1 on the bottom and on the right. And I don't see anything. So maybe I want to put this on the top. Then I need something equal to cosecant squared below it. So that would be 1 plus cotangent squared. And I need something equal to cosecant on the top, which I don't see anywhere. So we're stuck. All right, so I see that this green one over here could be switched with this one. So now I have cosine times tangent is equal to 1 over cosine. So then I can remove this one, and I can remove this one. So let's try that. Maybe that was our issue. Okay, so then I can move this purple one here because I know that cosine over cotangent is equal to the sine of x. And then I got 1 over secant, which is equal on the bottom, which is equal to cosine. So I have 2 of these that have cosine on the top. But remember that sine over tangent is also equal to cosine. And I know that secant squared is equal to 1 plus tangent squared. So I can put that there. And then this also has cosine on the top. And I have sine of x, which is equal to tan of x times cosine of x. So now we might be in better shape here. So that was my issue. So I got sine squared times cosine squared. That's going to equal cosine squared. So I only have this one to put. And 1 minus cosine squared is equal to the sine squared. And I have 1 over cosecant on the bottom. So I'll put this with sine on the top there. And then this one just fits perfectly because I got sine over cosine. Whoop, that's not perfect. Well, I got 1 over cosecant is equal to sine. 1 plus cotangent is equal to that. Oh, okay. And sine over cosine is equal to tan. And tan is equal to 1 over cotan. So this is it, folks. So hope that wasn't too confusing, but maybe you could just fast forward and just pick. I probably should have said at the beginning of the video, but fast forward and rewind to the parts that you need. But that is how I thought it through. And notice that even me, a trigonometry teacher, had some trouble with this because there's a lot of doubles, right? There's a lot of cards that could be interchanged because they work in certain parts, but then you hit a roadblock and just like when you're proving identity, sometimes you got to give up and restart and try again. All right.